Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today we are going to be turning the advertisements that you get weekly in the mail to some fun looking tags. So if you want to see how I do it, stay tuned. All right, so we are working on the Who's Got Mail journal. So far I've done one signature where I had pockets and tags, and today I decided to make some tags, not necessarily just for this, but as a way to make tags out of mail for any journal. So when you get those papers, these kind of papers in the mail, they're really thin. You can't really use them for tags. They're kind of thin and bouncy. And then you got regular scrapbook paper. Those are pretty thin too. So I thought let's combine the two and make some tags that are a little bit more stable and will go into a pocket. So here is, I made one up already, and I'm going to put it in there for now. I don't know if it'll stay there, but it was a pocket that was in there already, and actually, whatever is better than one of these. Yeah, let's do one of those. I like it. Okay, so it is a tag that is a little bit more sturdy, but yet it is made mostly out of mail. So let's put this aside. And let us do some fun of this. All right, so what I did was I took a page, get these out of here, from one of these papers. All right, so what I'm going to do is decide how tall, big I want them to be, and we're going to end up folding them and maybe cutting them into pieces. So looks like it could be a nice size, maybe cut in half. So let's get my chopper out. And how big is this? 10, so let's cut it at 5. All right, so what I find the best way to do this is you're gonna want to make sure most of this is tucked inside, because you don't want to have lots of openings to come back at you. So I'm going to fold this in and fold it in, as well as this side. Fold it in and fold it in and fold it in. All right, so we are only going to need to truly glue these two together, but I am going to I'm going to throw a little glue in here just to give a little bit extra space to have it stick to itself, as well as here. So we want to make sure really good the outsides get glued. And if you need to go back and trim it a little bit, you can, but since we're going to put paper on top of it, scrapbook paper, I am not going to worry about it. Now, if you want to check out the tops and bottoms, if there's a little bit of a gap that you want to put some on, you can. We can finish it off with some washi tape maybe, or just where the paper ends, wrap around it, and we can glue some later. So I'm not gonna fuss too much about gluing that. But now we have 6 layers of a paper that would go into a recycling bin. And as of right now, it's still pretty thick, but is it pretty? No. So let's see if we can find a piece of paper that can wrap around this. And that will. All right, so this is a scrapbook piece of paper that is pretty thin to begin with, but let's see if we can attach this on here. Now I am going to cut the paper down to be closer to the actual size of this newspaper ad. Oops. Just so the ends aren't as floppy in just 2 layers. I am going to glue that down, but I am going to put some glue on the paper, because whatever sticks to the outside will still be glued together. I'm going to just, you can sort of feel where the paper is, so I'm going to cut a little bit to the outside of it. So keeping that together really makes a nice chunky package. Now I probably should wait for that to dry, but you know, time is money, as they say. I will let that dry. We're going to go ahead and glue another one, and I think we'll make this one a pocket because it is 5 inches, so I think that'll be good for a pocket. This will be a tag. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go ahead and it's good if we don't. So we'll go ahead and glue that down. And glue that down. Fold this back onto itself. You want them all folded onto themselves so that there's a less amount of outside folds, because in the end, and I'll show it on this one, in the end, it's just the top and the bottom that is open. And then the one side here, right there, that gets closed. The rest of it is all sealed inside. Oops. Sealed inside of there. All right, make sure we get close to the end on that, and just because the last one, we'll put a little in the center. All right, so we should have a pretty solid piece of paper there. Nice and flat. All right, so let's find something fun to put on this one. All right, I have library cards. That could be fun. I know it's a mail journal, but library cards could be fun. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so let's glue this piece down. And I'm going to leave a little bit on the edge there. Now, if I wanted to really make sure it was stuck, we could use the art glitter glue on the edge here. And put some of this glue in the center. And I probably should have pre-folded this, but we'll do our best. Okay. And a little bit of squishing, a little bit of rolling. I have to trim that. Okay. Beautiful. All right, we'll let that one dry and we'll go back to the first one and see if we can do some cutting. All right, so like I said, it's hard for you to see, but I can feel where it is. So I can just take a little bit off. And it's sealed pretty good. Yeah, it's sealed really good actually. And this one is just a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so now we have a solid card. Fun, right? And all that's inside is all that garbage that would go to a landfill. All right, should we round this? It's a journal card, let's round it. And looks a little skewed, but it's not. Okay. All right, we'll take the tiny one. And there we go. I just want to say thank you to all the, and welcome to all the new subscribers that have shown up recently. Oh, we got to glue that. I hit 3,000 subscribers recently. I don't usually like to say it like right when it happens, because it always seems like when I get to that, I remember when I hit 2,000, it went like 2000, 2001, and then it went down to 1999, and then back up to 2000, and down to 1998, and then up to 2002. It was like a roller coaster right around that number. So hopefully I didn't just jinx myself, but last I checked, it was at 3002. So welcome to everybody that's new, and a big heaping thanks so much for everyone who's been with me for a while. You guys really make my day when you like the videos and comment, and yeah, I love it. This is really pretty. I like that paper. All right, so one journal card. Okay, time to make the, every time I say time, oh, don't fall. The handle came up and knocked something. I got to click it in place. Every time I say time to, I think of the Time to Make the Donuts commercial. All right, this is pretty close. All right, let's do that one first, because that fold is gonna be, that's not gonna get cut. So we wanna have that straight, and this pretty close to the end there. I'm gonna go right there. And then for the top, we are just gonna straighten it to get rid of that crookedness. Yeah. All right, so we just need to bend it a little, see if there's anything opening, and that one looks pretty good. All right, are you glued? Oh, just a little glued, but I guess we'll keep that and that. Okay, so this is going to be a pocket. So there's my circle punch, and we'll put a thumb notch in for that. And I like to just nip the corners off a little bit, just because it looks so, you know, could have done it with scissors, but we got that. Okay, we'll throw a little ink on this one. Putting some ink on there also helps to see if any of these little spots are going to want to open. And we need to glue it or add some washi tape or something. And this one really, that extra glue of our glitter glue really sealed that in, and that worked so perfectly to have that right in the center, didn't it? I think I'm going to keep that one in the front, or see what we decide to put on there. Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's see what we can add as a decoration to these to put into the Who's Got Mail journal. All right, so I got a couple of the that would be cute to go on there. I think that'd be fun to put on there. Just have some scraps in here and some scraps to the side here. Oops. I think I like that with that number across there. That's fun. Let's add that. And put that that on there. I think I'm ink that up a little bit. I'll probably glue that down. Okay. And for this one, I do like that. It's a little bit, I think I like that actually. Let's put that on there. And I think I'm going to see if I can track down some stamps for that. Maybe a little book page. I don't quite like the color of that one. Yeah, I think I'll probably get one of those stamps on there. Okay, let us see what we can do. And glue. Yeah, so I hope you like this idea of using your mail as a filler. Kind of like making a quilt when you put the batting in the center. It's kind of the same kind of premise. You need to have something on the inside to fill it up. Just some lovely pieces right there. Yep, let's do that, but this is thicker, so I'm going to use some art glitter glue. And over here. I'm sitting here on a lovely afternoon. We have some severe air quality alerts out there right now. So they tell you not to go outside. So they're not working on my road right now, which could be why they're not working, because maybe they told them to stay home, which would be nice of them to actually care about their workers and not have them breathe that air. It's supposed to get better tomorrow, so I'm guessing they'll probably be here tomorrow. But I went in my car late last night to run an errand, and I didn't know that they were going to be taking apart a different street, and they were out there scraping it, and they were like driving right down the middle of the road, and I'm like, where am I going to go? It's not like they closed the road. They had it open. They just decided that they're going to strip the ground, strip the thing, and I started, yeah, it was just like, I'm looking at them like, where do you expect me to go? And they just kept barreling through. So I snuck around them, but I'm like, really? Oh, I like that. I mean, if I would known they were going to be going down that road, there was other ways I could have went, but by the time I found them, as I'm going around in the subdivision, I was kind of like stuck there. So if they would have put a note up saying, you know, don't go this way, I wouldn't have went that way. I like it. All right, so I think I'm going to put a number on there, because there's always fun to do. And this has a bit of burgundy on it, so let's do that one. Cute. I like it. All right, so if it's going to go in the journal, we'll do the middle. We'll do the middle one because that's where I put that card. I've got one there, maybe on there. I'll wrap around there. I think I actually did not need any more pockets. I needed more of a just journal cards. So I'm going to stop making pockets going forward, but that will look nice there. That's the same piece of paper. All right, put that there. I'm just going to make journal cards. See, unfortunately, that's what happens when you do work on a project only once a week. But like I said, this is just not something you have to do with old mail journal. This could have any sort of paper on it and go in any sort of journal. And it is a nice, strong pocket. That is for sure. And a nice big one that I'll be able to put some stuff on. So, yeah, I like it. All right, let's get this to the side again and let us make this. Okay, let's see if I can put some ink on this. This paper's pretty brittle. Bonus of those papers, the newspaper things on the side, they became my glue pages here. Okay, now we got that. And we're going to put that down here because it looks crooked, but nothing I can do about it now. Get a little ink on this one, grunge it up a little. There we go. And it looks like I said, I'll look for a stamp for that. Put it up there. Okay, let's glue these down. I could have made this into a little pocket too. I have done that on, I think the travel journal. I did that, the yellow one, where I glued it as like a side tuck, and it actually fit pretty good. Strong enough, thick enough. It's Tim Holtz paper. Strong enough, thick enough to it appears my phone filled up. I really wish it would make some big loud noise when it's going to do that, but it doesn't. So I checked, it appears I was in the process of finishing up this journal card, so it didn't miss too much. I'd actually checked to see how much time was on to see if I can keep going, and that's when I saw it. So what I did to finish that, I believe I was adding this card to it, or I was inking this, one of the two. I just saw the video and then I was transferring files to my iPad to clear the phone. So I added that. I added sticker, stamp, a little bit of washi tape, and of course some little numbers, and went through my book and decided that it would be perfect in this up tuck because nothing there, and I didn't even try to do that. So wonderful. Okay, so we've done two. We did the pocket as well as that. So I think I'm just going to go over real quick how I did this again, maybe make one more, and yeah, I think these are fun to make, and hopefully you think the same. So while I was transferring, I made a few of these to have on hand. They're pretty easy. Excuse me, getting a little getting a little mouth dry here from talking. Pretty easy to make ahead of time and have available to do. So all I did, and I showed it earlier, was take the full sheet of paper and of course you could have different ones. Who knows? I'm not sure. You know, I think this is Menards. So I'm not sure if Menards goes across the country, but there's always food. I get two from two different grocery stores. Farm and Fleet sends them out. A whole bunch of places send them out. But all I did, just to remind, is I ended up folding these in 2/3, and I didn't measure them. I just eyeballed what approximately a third would be, and then cut it in half. These happen to be 10-inch high papers. Cut them down to 5, and then that's what I get here. And then we're gonna go ahead and glue them. So like I said, I was mass making gluing those just to make it easier. And we want to always fold inward so we have the least amount of outside borders. And we want to make sure that it doesn't go over the halfway mark. We don't want them bumping into each other. And for this side, we're going to go ahead and reverse the folds so they all fold to the center. Leaves a little bit of room. And we'll go ahead and put some glue on the top and bottom. Here's there's a low flying plane going by. And we'll do that one. Okay, so one thing I was doing while I was doing this last bit to kind of help any of the layers to come apart later is I was taking my art glitter glue, and on one side of this, we'll call it like a book, on the one side of the book, I put the art glitter glue along the three sides here so that all of the edges would be open, and then on this other side I went and glued the center with the stick. So when they would meet up, I would have glue on the center and art glitter on the outside, and it seemed to leave a really good seal on these when I was doing them. And they're nice and sturdy, and yeah, fun stuff. Okay, so let's take one I did earlier because it's more dry, and let's make one more tag. Or yeah, journal card, tag, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I found this one, and this kind of reminded me of a newspaper, like want ads. Yeah, so I figured that would be fun, and it's kind of got the bluish color to it too, so I figured this would be a good one to do. And I think maybe I want that side, so we'll glue it to this side. Yeah, we'll do it on that side. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and put enough glue on this to hold it down to the scrapbook paper, and I'm gonna leave just the hint of paper along the edge. Get these out of the way before I knock them over. Just put these in my to-do box, as they say, and be able to add them to any journal. I still might add some more to this one. All right, and then now I'm gonna fold it over just so I know where it goes. All right, and I'm gonna, once again, I'm gonna take the art glitter glue, and I'm just gonna put some along the outside of this, just to seal it in, seal in the juices. And then we'll put some of the other glue along the rest. Whoops. Okay, pre-folded, so we'll be able to knock her down. Nice and simple. Yeah, I think that is the best way to do these. It really does, in my opinion, seal all the edges and make this a pretty strong card. All right, let's trim away. Okay, so this is right there. And I should, since I glued it really close to the top, I don't need to go ahead and do either one of those. And I've got papers to use for other things. Okay. All right, I see that it's a little bit coming apart right there. Might have cut off a bit of the art glitter glue there. But that's an easy enough fix. Yeah. Okay. So I was thinking about, whoops, thinking about putting that on there while I was waiting for my stuff to upload. And I also found I had this laying around. So I got some words. That could be fun. And since it's kind of like a travel with the hotel, I kind of thought that stamp would be good. And I think we're gonna cut off the white part. And I know this is like it's a Who's Got Mail journal, but you know, the mail travels, comes from places. So I am not opposed to using travel things. You know, Hotel Venice. Yeah, I like that. Looks like a church. Could have been, maybe I'll put it farther down. Church in Europe. I think I like that. Okay, and then I think I still probably will add I have those tiny. Let's use one of these. Yeah, let's use one of those. Okay. I wanted to put one of these on there. Oh, V for Venice. Venice via airmail. Maybe I don't put that on there. Okay. All right, let's start gluing. And the decision will be made when the stuff is glued down. And sometimes when they're kind of floating there, you can't really tell as much as you would like how you want it to be. All right, so we're gonna put this card down next. Definitely want that and that. Okay, I think I still can do all of them. All right. Okay, the word Venice is woo. Still showing. Slippery sucker. There we go. And this airmail is a sticker. I think, yeah. There we go. Via airmail. And we'll put that on there. Okay. I don't mind it if I say so myself. All right, let's get a number on there. How about a star? Okay. Yeah, I like it. All right, I think I want to around the edges, though. I didn't do that initially. It was still kind of wet. but all right, let's round the edges and ink it. And ooh, that is thick right there because it has that card, but I was able to make it. Okay, ink the corners and all right, center. So I think I wanted something taller for there. And something taller for the belly band. I have to, next thing I'll have to make a couple tall things. It definitely does fit in there. That one's got that already. That one's got the up tuck. And I don't think, I put anything in the pockets in any of these. I made that pocket. Now should I do both with the male? I mean, that could make sense. All right, tall belly band, another up tuck. I think we're gonna go with another up tuck. Because once again, I think it's just a habit of mine is to put everything going that way. And yeah, I like it. All right, so we've got that with an up tuck and the pocket of that one and the other up tuck one. Fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you got some ideas on how to use up your papers that you get in the mail that just usually end up in the recycling bin. All right, that is going to be it for me today. I appreciate each and every one of you that has stopped by, and as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.